Hello guys and welcome. Today we are playing Smite, Battleground of the Gods. Now have you ever wondered how to play Cthulhu? Right, he's one of the most fun and interesting characters in Smite, Battleground of the Gods. So in this video I just wanna quickly show you, how I play Cthulhu. He's one of those characters that there are so many build paths you can do. And please excuse me, the current arena map is 7 years old. It's really kind of disappointing they couldn't make a new, cool gladiator style map in 7 years. It just feels like so much love has been put into Smite 1, and now it just feels like they just simply wasted. When they could have one of the most popular game on the market if you only had like updated arena map with simple rank leaderboard and rewards what every competitive player wants, right? So in this video we're gonna play Cthulhu as a guardian, right? And how do we build guardians in current meta, guys? You pretty much have 2 or 3 options for starter items, right? You can go Sentinel's Gift for sustain in Conquest, or you can go War Flag. Especially in Arena, War Flag is really good, right? And I often, if you have like double Guardian or Guardian and a Warrior, I often ask my support, can you buy War Flag, right? Because then, if they buy War Flag, I don't need to, and I can go, for example, Warding Sigil. Warding Sigil makes you really tanky in early game, and it's actually really especially good for Warriors. Now, in my opinion, support role is arguably the most fun role because there are so many things you can do and you can motivate your team, and there are so many different builds we can do. For example, in most Conquest games, you're gonna find yourself playing against 3 or 4 physical gods. So that's why we buy Sovereignty. Now, in most Conquest games, you're gonna play against 3 or 4 physical gods. So in that case, we wanna go Sovereignty, right? And in Arena, you're usually gonna play against a lot of magical compositions, because there is this meta in Arena where you have double mage for consistency, for minion clear, and for consistent damage. That's also why warriors are actually very good in Arena, because you wanna have a warrior to counter those pesky mages, because you cannot just let them free cast whole game long. So if you play a warrior in Arena, just go Warding Sigil, Shogun, Contagion, maybe one flat pin item like Jotuns or Brawlers, and just harass those carries. That's basically your job, right? Your job as a warrior is not just to babysit your carries, right? It's your carry job to counter build if they get heavily focused. But because Conquest and Dota doesn't teaches you about counter building, it's very hard to actually find people that know about and actually proactively counter build in this game, right? Because I think this is also one of the big mistake Smite Studio does. We only have ranked leaderboard and rewards for snowballing game modes, which in my opinion are game modes for children who need numbers to carry them. That's why Arena was always so popular, not only because it's not just about, it's not about snowballing, but it's more about how you play and how you win. Basically fighting on even playing field, where all that matters is how you play and how you build. Right, but it's also about consistency and your will to come back. Right, when you are losing in Arena, that's actually the best time to push back, because they are overextending, and there are so many things when it comes to Arena. Less hitting minions, how to properly push a siege tower. Did you guys know that if you stand beside the siege tower, you can actually not only push it through enemy minions, but also through enemy gods? So you always, if you see enemy siege coming, you always wanna go deep and take their attention, so you buy the time for your team to clear the tower, right? If you let enemies stand around the tower, you won't be able to stop it, right? So there are actually so many good support items currently in the game. You have Shogun Kuzari, right? You always wanna check, do you have 2-3 mages, or you have 2-3 AD carries or animation cancelers like Susano, right? If you have mostly mages, you can actually press T and see who's top damage in your team. And if it's a mage, you buy Voidstone, aka Void Denzamar, or how is that item called now. Otherwise, you can buy Shogun Kuzari, right? You have Pestilence against healers. You also, of course, wanna buy cooldown, right? You have Valor, which is pretty much meta, right? You also have items like Stone Binding, right? Stone Binding is actually really good. It's not as good as it was a long time ago when it was really a good early game item, but it's still very decent because every time you crowd control the enemy, you reduce their armor, which basically buffs your whole team, right? So you can actually go Warding Sigil or War Flag starter into Stone of Binding, right? It depends on what you are playing against. If you are playing against 3 physical composition, you wanna still go Sovereignty first item, and then you can go Shogun, maybe Valor for cooldown, right? So I usually max my first ability for that good consistent poke, you know? And we can use 2 to clear minions and for crowd control, right? But in my opinion, Guardians really start to shine once you buy some cooldown. Then you have way more consistency. Cooldown is especially important in Arena. It's probably not that important in Conquest, even though, you know, even most junglers usually go Jotun's Wrath first item, right? And that mana on Valor is actually really, really good. And there is actually this hidden warrior meta where you can actually go Warding Sigil into Jotun's Wrath, you know? Okay guys, so I'm sorry, I had to do something. So let's continue. In my opinion, Cthulhu is one of the most, you know, best looking character in this game. So, you know, but it's actually very hard to build him, and sometimes you feel like you're falling behind, right? So sometimes you have to go like more hybrid path. You know, you go War Flag into Stone of Binding, Valor, then Voidstone, Shogun. You still gonna be very tanky, and you still gonna support your team with, you know, that's how you win sometimes. You know, I mean, if you still need to, you're still a guardian, right? If you play against 3 physicals, just go Sovereignty, so much value, right? You wanna go Shogun Kuzari almost every game, or Voidstone, because they're one of the best items in the game. But you know, you can also go Stone of Binding, Valor, Gladiator, Shield, and you're gonna have really good pressure and consistency. And this is what also good support is. There are actually 2 sayings for warriors actually. There used to be a golden rule of warriors that you always wanna get at least 1 flat pin item for pressure and consistency, because the worst thing that can happen to a warrior is that they simply ignore you. And that's why you wanna get like maybe 1 flat pin item, Contagion, Shogun, right? Very good items, very strong. If you play warrior on a solo lane, you can go Warding Sigil, Jotun's Wrath into Contagion, Shogun, and I promise you, you will win most of your games, you know? So let me know what you guys think about this, and have you ever played Cthulhu? You know, he's a really interesting character, one of the best looking character in my opinion. His ulti is so good, right? Sometimes it's really hard to know when to use it, you know, but once you have cooldown online, like once you have Valor, you know, that's in my opinion, it really sucks they removed cooldown from Shogun Kuzari, because you could combine Valor and Shogun Kuzari and have almost max cooldown. Now you get 40% attack speed, so it's even more snowballing Conquest. Like, it doesn't make any sense really, but hey, most things, you know, Smite was a great game 7 years ago, and most of the things they did for Smite was actually just holding it back. You know, they divided the community on every corner, they split the player base, removed content from the game for no good reason, right? Clash, Siege, Arena, Ranked. In my opinion, Smite could be 5 times more popular game if we just had some online tournaments, basic rank leaderboards and rewards for Arena and Conquest, you know, 2 popular sites, you know. When it comes to game design, both can be very competitive, of course. So let me know what you guys think, and see you in the next one. Peace.
Friends don't leave friends behind. An enemy has been slain. They were warned.
What is it you
Our allies are in trouble.
Goodbye for now.
An ally has been slain.
Kakar basica pa basica, veš, why not?
Crush them. Face the wrath of a sovereign spawn. You've only just begun, haven't you? An enemy has been slain.
Oh damn, mi se secco poi stanca, no. Jesus.
They were warned.
Fucking chance.
An enemy has been slain. We need to help our friends. Oh yes, 2 for 1. Friends don't leave friends behind.
Kaj fore je grad, no, če se vsi trolajo,
Goodbye
pizda,
for
no.
now.